Welcome. In this lesson, we're tackling the super keyword, one of the small but mighty tools in Java inheritance. By the end, you'll know exactly what super points to and the two precise ways to use it. This shows up constantly on the AP Computer Science A exam, both in multiple choice and in free response. So getting it solid here will pay off directly on test day. Let's get started. Here are our goals for this lesson. By the end, you'll be able to use super with parentheses to call a superclass constructor, explain when Java inserts that call automatically, use super dot method to invoke an overridden parent method, and apply the rule that an explicit supercall must be the first statement in a constructor. Keep these four objectives in mind. Each one maps directly to a type of exam question. All right, let's start with the big picture. The keyword super is simply a reference to the immediate parent class of the object you're working with. Think of it as a way to reach one level up the inheritance chain. Anytime a subclass needs something its parent already defined, super is the door to it. There are exactly two ways we use it, and they're the focus of this whole lesson. First, super with parentheses calls a constructor of the superclass so the inherited fields get initialized properly. Second, superdot a method calls the parent's version of a method that the child has overridden. On the right, you can see the relationship. Dog is a subclass of animal, and super lets dog point back up to the animal portion of itself. Keep that mental image in mind because everything else builds on it. Here's the first and most common use. When you build a subclass object, the parent part of that object has to be constructed first. We do that with super and a set of arguments that match one of the parent's constructors. Notice in the code that the dog constructor calls super of name as its very first line, handling the name up to the animal constructor, and then sets its own breed field afterward. The rule to burn into memory is this. If you write an explicit call to super, it must be the first statement in the constructor, not the second line, not after some other assignment, the very first. The exam loves to test that. If you try to put it anywhere else, the code will not compile. Now, what happens if you don't write super yourself? This trips up a lot of students. If you omit the call entirely, Java quietly inserts a call to super with no arguments as the first line of your constructor for you. So even an empty-looking subclass constructor is secretly calling the parent's no-argument constructor. That's fine and invisible most of the time. The danger appears when the parent does not have a no-argument constructor, because then the automatic insertion fails and your code won't compile. The fix is to add an explicit super call with the right arguments yourself. So remember, a super call always happens whether you write it or Java writes it for you. The second use of super is for methods. Suppose a subclass overrides a method but still wants the parent's original behavior plus a little extra. You call super dot the method name to run the parent's version, then add your own code around it. In the example, the dog's toString calls super.toString to reuse the animal description and then appends the breed. This is how you extend behavior instead of completely replacing it. A key contrast, super.method works on any line of the method, unlike super in a constructor where it should be the first. So you have flexibility here. Use this pattern whenever you want to build on the parent rather than rewrite it from scratch. Let's consolidate the rules the exam actually tests, because the slide is your cheat sheet. 1. An explicit super call in a constructor must be the first statement. 2. If you don't write one, Java inserts super with no arguments automatically. 3. That automatic call breaks if the parent has a no argument constructor, so you'll need an explicit call. 4. Super dot method can appear anywhere in the method body and run the parent's overridden version. The classic trap on the exam is code that puts a statement before super in a constructor or parent class missing a default constructor. When you see super on the test, immediately check those two things. Get these 4 rules down and you'll handle every super question with confidence. All right, let's try this. The vehicle class has only the constructor shown. Which car constructor compiles? Pause the video and I'll let you try. All right, vehicle has a no argument constructor. It only defines vehicle with int arguments. So Java's automatic super method or super constructor call would fail. Option A relies on that explicit super and does not compile. Option B explicitly calls super with no arguments. Still no matching constructor, so it fails. Option D uses the class name as if it were a method, which is not how you call a superclass constructor. Fails. Only option C, super with the argument 4, matches vehicle with the integer argument and must be the first statement, so it compiles. Answer C. When the parent lacks a no argument constructor, the child must call super with the arguments explicitly on the first line. All right, what is printed? Trace the call to new manager with the argument sam.getRole method. Pause the video and I'll let you try. All right, manager overrides getRole. Inside it, super.getRole jumps up 1 level to employee's version, which returns employee. Manager then concatenates /manager, giving employee /manager. The answer is C. Super.getRole gets the parent version. A plain getRole here would call manager's own version and recurse forever. Option D is a trap if you forget super. All right, now let's recap the essentials. Super refers to the immediate parent class. In the constructor, an explicit super call must come first. And if you leave it out, Java inserts a no argument super call for you, which fails if a parent has no argument constructor. And super.method runs the parent versions of an overridden method from anywhere in the body. Review these key takeaways, try the practice problems again if any of these felt shaky, and you'll be ready for any super question on the exam. Good work, guys.